Tents versus swags versus rooftops, also known as RTTs. G'day folks, are you looking at changing your 5 billion star accommodation, your sleeping arrangement, or perhaps you are completely new to it all and you're not 100% sure what to do? You have 3 options. What is the best option for you? What are the ins and outs? Pros and cons? What are you looking at? Tents suck. Mate, that's a matter of opinion. I don't care about yours. Get in your swag. By the end of this video, you will be in a better position to make the right choice for yourself out of those 3 options. Which is the best option? The pros and cons points: ease of use, security, getting changed and dressed, fuel consumption impact, storms and winds, comfort in summer, comfort in winter, base camping, space taken up, relocating, and going to the toilet in the middle of the night. And finally, the most cost effective. You can skip to any of those points or jump backwards and forwards down below. The first topic is ease of use, and I'm going to score this from 1st place to 3rd place. Let's go over here because there's a clear winner. As a clear 1st place winner for ease of use, rooftop tent or the roof conversion. However, if it's a soft one with the big bag on top, you got to fold it out. The soft rooftops, that's a different story, and we'll get to that. But you can't beat the ease of use of these. Everything is inside them. You're never going to forget anything because you can close all your gear inside it. Roof conversion is another variant, but when we get to the pricing, it'll make a big difference. 2nd place, the swag, particularly if they have 3 poles, just like these. 1, 2, 3. Some have 5 poles, they're a bit of a pain, but still very easy to set up, easy to use. You can roll it up with your sleeping bag. All you need to pull out is your pillow. And of course, don't forget your wallet, keys, and phone. Last place, ease of use, tents. In my experience, very annoying and painful to set up. But even worse, packing them up. Also, you need to put all the stuff in there. Everything's not there. This tent in particular, look, once you get used to it, you don't need the instruction manual, but with a swag, you don't need an instruction manual. You do for a tent. And of course, the RTTs, the rooftop tents that are the ones with the bag over it. Very annoying. Security. In aisle 1, we got the rooftop. Super safe, you are off the ground, and here's why. No crocs, no dingoes, no wild dogs, no psychos, no lions, no hyenas, no bears. I guess a bear could get up there. And if you have a roof conversion, you can lock your doors. Good night. I can't get out. 2nd place, we have the swag. I mean, you're on the ground. However, the canvas walls on a swag are super thick compared to a tent wall. So privacy is really good, but you are still on the ground. Love this torch. Tents. The feeling of being watched. The shadow shows at night when you got your light on inside. Also, just to mention the fact that people know if you are awake because they can see the light inside your tent. They will also know when you are likely sleeping because the light will be off. Staying alone in a tent is sometimes very spooky. What was that? Nah, it's all good. What the? Getting dressed and changed is a big factor when it comes to choosing your accommodation. Some are better than others. For example, a roof conversion, you can stand up inside. The rooftop tent is also a really good option. Sorry, mate. Moving on. Most tents, it's easy to get, your shirt on and off, get changed. Pants, you lay down on an angle, put them on. It's pretty easy. Different story for swags. You've done in there yet? Bloody hell. When it comes to swags, it's very difficult to get changed. I've never gotten changed inside a swag. You just end up hurting your back or whatever. There's just not enough room. It keeps appearing everywhere. In all honesty, if you were to get completely changed inside a swag, you would die from old age by the time you got it done. The impact on fuel consumption. Even when you're driving your vehicle, your accommodation choice will impact on your fuel consumption. If you have a tent, which is at first place here, you could possibly fit that inside a drawer in your vehicle, but you can definitely fit it inside the vehicle somewhere. Your sleeping bag, your pillow, and all that stuff, you generally want to keep it inside, so it's not going to impact your fuel consumption whatsoever. Not even weight-wise. Second place, the rooftop tent. Rooftop tent is permanently on your roof, unless you're one of those people who remove it after each trip. Depending on the shape of your rooftop tent, it's going to impact more or less on your fuel consumption, anywhere between 2 to 4 litres per 100, possibly even more. The reason why swags are at the bottom in third place is because they are very bulky. Doesn't matter if you roll them up sideways or you place them sideways or you place them the cinnamon scroll bun way, it doesn't matter. They are going to impact on your fuel consumption immensely, unless you can fit it inside the vehicle. But picture if you're a family of 4 or 5 and you have 4 or 5 swags on the roof, that is a massive wind block. Fuel. Burn, 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 burn. Relocating your accommodation. The swag is the number one. I can literally pick it up and move it wherever I want. If it's raining and I'm in a ditch, I can move it wherever I want. I can get away from the weather. With a vehicle, with a rooftop, I would say that'll be second place, because you got to get in, start the vehicle up and then move it. He's got his rooftop tent now, so he's got to level out his Land Cruiser. And because he's got such a crappy turning circle, he's now on to, what's this one, number 50 turn?
It's not 50 yet, it's about 30.
Any campsite is my oyster, because I've got a swag, I can go anywhere I want. He's stuck with his car.
Forgotten what it's like to have a rooftop.
With a tent, they are always pegged down at each point. To move that is an absolute nightmare. And if it's windy and you've got it pegged down, you don't want to be moving it. Trust me, nightmare. Base camping, what is the best option from best to worst? Tents are quite big. If you want to go for a day drive, you don't have to pack your tent up, and you can throw all your stuff in here, unload your vehicle, out of sight, out of mind, nice and safe. Let's go for a day drive. When it comes to a swag, you can do the same thing more or less as a roof tent. The worst option for base camping, because you have to close everything to go for a day drive. Even worse if you have a roof conversion, because generally speaking, if you have a roof conversion, you have a home on wheels. Every time your mates want to head out for a day drive, you're going to have to pack everything up, including your tent. On top of that, you can't unload your car to have a lighter vehicle driving around. You've got to put all your stuff back in, because otherwise you're going to leave it out in the open. If you leave stuff out in the open, generally speaking, 9 times out of 10, that's the stuff that'll get pinched over something that's hidden inside a swag or a tent. Going to the toilet in the middle of the night. Which is the best option to piddle in the bush in the middle of the night? Shared first place between the tent and the swag. Look, you got about as many zippers going on. However, I reckon the tent might have the edge just because you can have the boots inside the tent. Slip your boots on, go for a piddle, go back. The rooftop tent can be a bit sketchy. Kevin, you're right. I don't think he's coming back from that. Space taken up in the vehicle. We have touched on this a little bit. The tent is definitely number one. It takes up the less space, but it's all in multiple bits. You got to kind of keep it all in the same area, otherwise you got to sift through and get all that stuff out. The swag, very easy, all in one unit, apart from the pillow. It does take up a lot of space though. And on the roof, which we discussed with the fuel consumption, it takes up a lot of real estate. If you don't have a roof rack, I don't know how you're going to carry more than one swag. Rooftop tents, all the roof space is gone. However, in some situations like a roof conversion, you can put a rack on top of it, but you are making the vehicle more top heavy. And the same thing with a pop top rooftop tent that sits on top of the roof. Most of those don't have real estate on top of them, although some do. And generally speaking, you have to take all the stuff off it to be able to open it first. Just something to think about. Stormy weather and wind with swags, you can't beat a swag. You're low to the ground, the wind doesn't really catch you. The canvas is so thick, it doesn't shake during the night. With a rooftop tent in second place, yeah, you're off the ground. In gear, is the handbrake tight enough? I've been there a few times myself. Even inside a rooftop on top of a trailer, you get that same sway effect there. But if you want a really bad experience camping, go a tent in windy conditions. You'll have the worst experience ever. Imagine setting up a tent. Camping in summer. Kevin, what's your favourite option? Very well, Kevin. So the rooftop is definitely the best in summer because you get the breeze at the top, even if it's a light breeze, and you can control the breeze really well because the vents are so big. Being off the ground, it's cooler, you don't have the heat from the ground as well, and you're more likely to catch the breeze. Tents, I'd say, are second place for keeping cooler, but they can become a bit of a sauna if you don't open up the vents. But one other thing, the walls are like rice paper. When the sun's up, you are up. No choice about it. Swags, on the other hand, are very difficult to keep cool in. I've been in a swag up in the Kimberley during the wet season. I couldn't keep cool. I had all the vents open. You're so low to the ground, it's so hard to catch the breeze. So a good trick we figured out. Kept me quite comfortable now. I'm sleeping on top of a sleeping bag. But that's what you get for being up here in the lead up to wet season. That said, however, if you can sleep with the vents closed and the early morning sun rises, given that you're in a darker canvas, you will not wake up with the morning sun. So if you like to sleep in, the canvas will do the trick. That was summer camping. Now let's talk about winter camping. My choice will be the swag. It's cozier, it's warmer, it's on the ground. It's just so much warmer. Many people argue that the rooftop tent is better in winter. But I can tell you it's colder because you're off the ground, you're up there. Down here, you're definitely warmer. So hands down, the swag takes the cake, first place when it comes to winter camping. The rooftop, second place because you are nice and dry, but you can get yourself warm up there. It just takes a lot more effort. There's more volume of air as well to warm up. So for instance, with a swag, if you had a double swag, they're actually a lot more difficult to warm up. Whereas this king size swag, it's confined space, it's so easy to warm up. You could be nice and toasty even when it's 0 degrees. In a tent, you need a really good sleeping bag, a -5 or something crazy like that. If you're setting some of these up in winter and it's blowing and it's raining, you're gonna have a miserable time in one of these things. That's the winner. Let's talk pricing. Now you might think that tents will be the cheapest option, but it depends on what you're doing. If you go for all the real expensive gear, well, the tents can easily outweigh the swag. So what I would say is they're kind of like around the same price in the end, right? Unless you go for really crazy quality on your tent, the price is gonna go up. The swag, well, these options here, that's roughly about 440 bucks. All you need to do is add a pillow and a sleeping bag, which can be rolled up inside it, except for the pillow. With a double swag, just shy of 600 bucks. But when we get to the rooftops, that's when the price goes up. Now I believe this one here is about 3.5 grand. They can be anywhere from 1,000, which are not very good to be honest. I've interviewed a few people on Modified who have had them. the cheaper version, $1,000. They often say
That this is one of the best things that I've done to this car. This isn't a good brand name one or anything like this. This is quite a budget one. I think it ranged around the $1,800 odd. I've had issues with it, but it's, I guess you pay for what you get. I've had to just get Velcro and put Velcro in instead of zippers and that sort of stuff. How they've created the floor to make it strong means that you feel all the ribs. I think this is one thing that you don't want to scrimp on. I've had issues with cracking and, you know, clips coming off as I'm driving. It's
okay.
It has probably been my worst nightmare, but it's the best thing as well.
Yeah.
It's a yin and yang. It's awesome, but it's a headache.
It's handy to have a rooftop, convenient, but it's uncomfortable due to the construction and the shitty mattress you get with the cheap ones. That there, as I said, 3.5 grand, up to about 5 grand is generally what you're looking at for a rooftop tent like that. So it's an investment. It's a big investment. Speaking of investments, over there, that's an investment, a whole roof conversion. You're looking at $12,000 to $15,000. That is a serious investment. You would only do that to a vehicle you're going to keep for a very long time. With a rooftop tent, however, you can take it and put it on another vehicle. So think of the investment that way. The swag, if it's a decent quality one like these, they will last you ages. Tents, I don't think tents will last you that long, especially in the Australian environment. So that I'll be careful with. That's not an investment to me, in my opinion. That's an investment. That's a very affordable, easy to use option. The conclusion in the end with these 3 options, well, it really comes down to you. There's a lot to take in here, but you definitely have a much better idea of what you need. Are you camping in summer mainly or in winter mainly? How often do you camp? How much money do you want to invest? What can you afford? And what can you be bothered dealing with? That's what it's going to come down to. So what is your choice? What suits your needs? Tell me down below. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helped you out. Actually, I know it's helped you out. Now I've got to pack all this up.